SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback for the Giants. Head coach Brian Daboll confirming that today, although he says Jameis Winston, Tommy DeVito, and rookie Jackson Dart will be competing during training camp. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Dolphins corner Artie Burns may have a torn ACL after getting hurt in practice today. Also today, Miami offensive lineman Byron Matos was airlifted to a hospital. No word yet on the nature of his injury. At Big Ten Media Days, Oregon coach Dan Lanning tells ESPN's Ian Fitzsimmons he'd like to see the college football season end by New Year's Day.
Season ends, championship week, we'll play in however you want to do that. And then there's a game the next weekend, the next weekend. Saturdays for me are college football. You know, there shouldn't be these huge windows of time where we're trying to fit bowl games back into playoffs because they're two different things, right? Let's play the playoffs. We're going to do the playoffs. Let's do the playoffs every single week.
All four teams who earned byes in the playoff last season, including the Ducks, lost in the quarterfinals.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
Off and running, welcome in. Wednesday edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Musso in for Moscona. Of course, Scone enjoying one final vacation while we dive into football season here head first. And that's what we'll do today. Taylor Sharp, Paul O'Neill along for the ride. And glad to have you along for the ride as well. Jam-packed show again. A lot of football. Shea Dixon in the next segment to talk recruiting. Trey Holly is off to Southern. Matthew Paris for a camp report from Saints practice. We heard from Kellen Moore. Brian Kelly spoke at the Rotary. There's a ton to do today. So let us go ahead and begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right, and like I said, Matthew Paris will be around here at 4:30 to give us a boots on the ground recap of Saints training camp. But did want to give some thoughts. Saints first practice of the first training camp under Kellen Moore. We'll let you hear from him as well. There's a lot to take in. While it was a shorter practice, Kellen Moore said one of the shortest practices that they will have Wednesday and Thursday. They'll put the pads on next week. So kind of easing into it, right? First practice out there since the summer, easing into it. But there was plenty to go around. We'll get to the quarterbacks, and that's going to really be the bulk of this conversation. But first, just some other things notable to watch. There were no changes along the offensive line. You still had from left to right, Kelvin Banks, Trevor Penning, Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz, and Taliese Fuanga. I don't think that really comes as a big surprise, but once they get the pads on next week, it'll be really interesting to see how that unit gels in 11-on-11. Speaking of 11-on-11, you saw the first 11-on-11 team drills of the offseason today as well. We talked on Tuesday about 5 things I wanted to see. One of those was the running backs outside of Alvin Kamara, like guys backing up AK. We really kind of focused in on Kendre Miller. On Wednesday, the first Saints training camp practice, Kendre Miller ran with the second team. Your first team running backs were Alvin Kamara, Devin Neal, and then Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Neal also split the second team reps with Miller. That's intriguing, man, because again, I know they're high on Devin Neal, and look, if that pans out and he's great, awesome. Kendre Miller is just the guy that you've kind of been waiting on. If he can stay healthy with a clean slate under Kellen Moore, would this kind of be his time? We'll see kind of where he factors into the rotation, maybe on Thursday and later on in camp. But at least on day one, Kendre Miller running with the second team. And then the other thing would be outside of quarterbacks that we definitely wanted to see was the safety rotation. Obviously, Tyron Mathieu surprises everybody on Tuesday, retires after 12 NFL seasons. We looked at this and said, man, this is a huge opportunity for a guy like Jonas Sanker. Well, On Wednesday, the first-team safeties were Justin Reed and Jordan Howden. Jonas Sanker ran with the second team, along with Terrell Burgess, J.T. Gray, Elliott Davison covered those third-team reps. I would expect Sanker to see some reps kind of increase there. We'll obviously talk again when we get our full training camp report, how he looked, things of that nature, because, again, the defensive rookies are something that I really wanted to see here in training camp because, for one, the pads are finally going to come on, and you'll finally have team drills. So, interesting. And look, obviously the Saints signed Julian Blackmon Tuesday night, so I have some thoughts on that for later in the show as well about the signing and when he gets to camp. Obviously, that'll shake up that room a little bit. But your first-team safeties, day one, Justin Reed, Jordan Howden, Jonas Sanker running second team. Okay, now the quarterbacks. This is really what everyone wants to hear about, right? And the reps were split. Rattler with the first team, Shuck with the second team, Jake Hayner ran with the third team. We'll get into kind of some of their days, but first, Kellen Moore talked about the quarterback's day as a whole and whatnot, and it was a real generic coach speak answer, everything you expect him to say. The media got him to go a little bit deeper. He talked about why Spencer Rattler, this is number 6, Taylor, why Spencer Rattler got the first crack at the first team reps.
Well, I think we have a bunch of statistics and stuff based off OTAs, and I mean these guys are writing just literally the same exact numbers in every category, and so they're very consistent throughout the whole process. Spencer's obviously been here one more year. We just start with him, and then we'll go from there, and I won't worry too much about that.
So the seniority is a factor there. Experience absolutely plays in, and it should. Tyler Shuck is going to go through a little bit of growing pains here in his first training camp. That kind of happened a little bit today. He had 15 snaps with the second team. Credit Ross Jackson here with these numbers. He ends up 2 of 6 on the day. 4 of 8. They had some playthroughs following sacks, but 2 of 6, 4 of 8. Pick which number you really want. You're going to see him look like a rookie, and he should, and that's okay. He'll get the the first team reps on Thursday. Kellen Moore confirmed that after practice as well. And you heard him even at the end of that cut when he talked about the seniority for Rattler. I wouldn't read too much into that. So the next question kind of becomes, okay, sense of urgency. Does Kellen Moore, in his first year as a head coach, his first training camp, does he feel a sense of urgency in naming a starting quarterback?
The sooner you make a decision, the sooner you can focus in on certain personnel groups and certain consistencies. But we'll let the process take it as long as it needs to, and when we make that decision, we'll roll.
That's kind of a talk out of the both sides of your mouth answer a little bit there, because he talked, the sooner you make the decision, you can get personnel and everything. You can have the offense come together, right? But we'll wait and see how it goes. Then when we make that decision, we'll make the decision. When the time comes, we'll make that decision. I'm not going to say there's a sense of urgency. I 100% believe they want this done as soon as possible, though, so they can really focus in on personnel packages and things that work the best and get the guy who's going to be the guy the most time with the first team as they can leading up into game number 1. That's obvious, right? So I obviously think that is a factor there for Moore. Maybe it's not a sense of urgency, but they definitely like it done as quickly as they can get it done. The other thing that was really interesting in terms of timeline, and we touched on this briefly Tuesday when Kellen Moore met with the media to open up camp. And he really when he talked about splitting the quarterback reps, said, we'll split them evenly, throughout the 3 guys leading into the first preseason game against the Chargers. And he even went back in that media availability, again, kind of focused in on that first preseason game against the Chargers. And the media asked him Wednesday if that is when they would like to have the decision. Like, coming out of that game, is that kind of your timeline? Because he's focused in on that a couple different times to have the quarterback named then.
Well, I think one of the biggest things is at the end of the day, playing quarterback, there's a lot of things around you, and you're in a controlled environment in practice, and so it's our first chance to play with live action, and the ability to get sacked, the ability to get hit, some of those components there, which will be very valuable for those quarterbacks, and it'll be the first step in that process to see how they respond.
So again, he didn't put a steadfast timeline on it, and everything he's saying there is true. You can only learn so much through training camp, and the Saints are not going to have joint practices this year either. They'll spend the week leading into that first preseason game against the Chargers in Irvine, but they won't have joint practices. And that's really in training camp where you could actually learn the most outside of the preseason games. So, of course, those are going to be massive. And the one against the Chargers is going to be massive. But I think if you could get Kellen Moore in a true moment of candor and ask him that same question about, okay, what do you want determined after that first preseason game? I think he would tell you maybe he doesn't want the starter name, but he wants clearer separation. And maybe you will get separation throughout training camp leading into that. Like, I mean, you got, what, 3 weeks leading into that game? And maybe you start to see some things kind of, pan out. But coming out of that, when you get them in the live game environment, you can see how they manage the huddle in a real game. On an obvious passing down, can they complete the throw? How they react to getting hit, to contact, how they run the offense. The Saints used a lot of tempo on Wednesday in their first training camp practice. So how all of that factors in. Does this quarterback use his legs better than another? Once you get into a real game environment, and I know the result doesn't matter, but it's a real game environment, you absolutely want to see some separation. You want a clearer picture after that first game. If someone establishes themselves and you see a switch in first team reps, and that's what I really want to focus in on after that game is there a switch in how they handle first team reps? Do you see one guy getting more days than the other, or do they continue to split it evenly? That's going to be intriguing, and really the most intriguing part of coming out of that game against the Los Angeles Chargers for your first preseason matchup. The other thing that I really, really liked, and the answer from Kellen Moore was predictable, but he was asked point blank if Tyler Shuck has an edge in this competition because Kellen Moore drafted him and he appears to be, quote, your guy. This is what he said.
I view them all the same. Love these guys. These guys have been awesome all offseason, and fired up just to let those guys play it out and go for it.
Again, it's a dull answer. It's the answer you expected him to say. He's not going to be like, yes, absolutely, Tyler Shuck, that's who we want to emerge out of this. But I do believe that that's who they want to emerge out of this. The fully guaranteed contract. They spent the second round, pick on him, liked him a lot. Liked him enough in the second round that they didn't move back into the first round to take Jackson Dart. Remember, Jackson Dart, the Saints were favored to select him on draft night. But they liked Shuck enough that they stayed, but they didn't move up for him. I think in that situation, that absolutely shows you that, yes, he is Kellen Moore's guy, and that is the guy eventually, maybe it's not week one, but eventually who he wants in that spot. We'll see how it plays out. For what it's worth, Spencer Rattler was fantastic. Per Ross Jackson's charting over at LouisianaSports.net, Rattler goes a perfect 9 for 9 in the team drills and the 9-on-7s. That's awesome to see. That's what you kind of expect from a guy who's got a year in the NFL under his belt. So a solid day from Rattler in his 17 snaps. There you go. That's about half runs, half passes, and he goes 9 of 9. That's awesome. And look, that just kind of continues what you saw from him in OTA and minicamp. So when you have a guy like Shuck, who is the head coach's guy, right, that he brought in, Rattler might feel a little bit of extra pressure to win out and to win that job. And so far, so good. Great OTA, great minicamp, and a great start in day one of training camp for Spencer Rattler as well. All right. Matthew Paris will be here at the bottom of the second hour to give us a full boots on the ground report of everything that he saw on day one of Saints training camp. We're going to grab a break, come back on the other side. We missed Shea Dixon yesterday. We'll talk to Shady next. the latest in LSU recruiting on AFR.
After further review.
If you are thinking about selling your home, maybe you've been on the fence, you've looked at rates and everything, like if you do sell, can you afford to buy the next home? Listen, the market right now is en fuego. I was talking to Darren James over the weekend, and he was like, Matt, this is the start of 2025 is the best start we've ever had. I'm telling you, consumer confidence is back. It is time right now to check out Darren James. Agent225.com, agent225.com. Yes, in Baton Rouge, but all over. Like, I just opened this one up. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo in Slidell that Darren's selling right on the water there on Harbor Drive. You can check it out, 129. You can check it out right now at agent225.com, agent225.com. Listen, buying, selling, commercial, residential, you need a realtor, you need the best, you need Darren James. 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs, reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business, internet, phone, managed services. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, back here after further review on a Wednesday presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Musso in for Moscona. We missed Shea Dixon yesterday, but he was good enough to just bump a day for us. So Shea Dixon joins us now on 3 The Bengal Tiger on Twitter X at Shea Dixon. Shady, how are you?
I'm doing well. I missed y'all, so I'm glad you missed me as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a Tuesday ritual, Shea. I mean, it doesn't feel like Tuesday if we don't have you on the show. So glad we could bump it a day to Wednesday. I obviously want to talk plenty of recruiting with you, but feel remiss if we didn't start with Tyron Mathieu here today. I mean, announces his retirement from the NFL and from football on Tuesday. Obviously, you covered him extensively as a recruit and in his time at LSU. Just a thought on Tyron's career and how you'll remember him as a player.
I can get in line with the Joe Burrow versus Mathieu, who is the best of the modern era debate. I've been, around here, at least in Baton Rouge, and so 4-3 range, and golly, they've won a lot of natties. They've been to another. They've had some insane teams that didn't get there, but and look, we're throwing Jaden Daniels in there too, but Mathieu is on another level. And I think the thing I always talk about is something that when we lived it, we knew, and then as time went on, we forgot that he was like the shortest player on the field at all times. Like, he was just this small kid that in camps that landing SEC offers, and then all of a sudden he got out there. And I don't know how long it took, but it wasn't long before you just forgot that. Like, that wasn't even a talking point anymore. And I've never seen anyone with those instincts. And I can remember Les Miles once saying, might have been the Florida game, but there was a game that, like every game, he forced a fumble, but he had gone to the ground and ripped the ball out and had kind of fallen over his momentum over the player. And right when his feet landed, he then hops back over the player to then get the ball. It was one of the more, as Les said, he was like, yeah, that just doesn't happen. And that's who Tyron was. And but I'm glad he got to end it in New Orleans. I'm glad he got his Super Bowl. And honestly, Moose, you want another thing, which was the low point of his career, but when he got kicked off the team, he was sitting like front row at every game.
Yeah.
It wasn't I disappeared. It was here I am, and gave him him and PP7 gave him $1 million, helped him rebuild ops, and it doesn't get any better than that. So, of course, he retires, and he doesn't even get to enjoy his retirement day before LSU fans are like, so you want to come work for us? But is there a chance you can bring Tyron onto the staff? And I guess my answer would be, first, LSU knows obviously the waves that would create.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh, well, they have Corey Raymond as DB coach, or, hey, look, they just got this new guy as the assistant DB coach. There's so many front office roles now, personnel roles, all that involve former players, that involve current players, all of that I think that he could also fit into. So I'm not, if you're asking me, hey, do you think Tyron will work at LSU one day or not? I'll lean towards yes.
I was going to ask you that, actually, Shea. That was going to be the follow-up because, as you said, it didn't take long. We did the segment on yesterday's show, and the first asked for, send in your reaction, and every single thing was, when's he going to coach at LSU? When's he going to coach at LSU? So, you said yes, so that's obviously something Tyron would have to be interested in as well. I'm not going to ask you to speak for him, but, like you said, he's never disappeared.
No, and I think he's actually tweeted out a lot back in the day. I'm sure you can go find it, but it seemed every couple months he would tweet like, when it's over, I'm coaching it. I'll be at LSU. But like I said, it doesn't have to start as a coach. There's a lot of ways you can have value out of Tyron Mathieu in a building, in an ops building. So I've got an ear to the ground. Look, I'm sure they'd love to turn it right around, but I bet he wants a little bit of break. He's a family man. He's going to kind of see what's next for him. But I don't see him going like the TV route, or him and PP7 are touring the country golfing at every great location there is. I think that he's a guy whose whole life is football, and I don't think he wants to give that up. So we'll see. Look, we did this before. Kyle Williams retired and went and worked at Ruston, and then it was stepping down. I'm going to spend more time with family, and when that LSU phone rings and they say, hey, you want to put on a purple and gold polo, it kind of changes things in a hurry.
Normally when home calls, the answer is always yes. We'll see. That's going to obviously be very interesting. Let's shift it a little bit to recruiting, which I guess Tyron could be doing for LSU one day. They're about to start camp. So before we kind of get into the class and some individuals in August and things of that nature, what what kind of is the recruiting calendar right now for the staff as they are about a week out from camp?
It's weird because the NCAA stopped or took away that one open weekend at the end of July before August and fall camp. So we're nearing the midway point of a 2-month dead period. So the next time they can actually get guys on campus is September, which they play in away games. So you got 3 straight home games. That's a benefit, but you don't have to host, or you won't be hosting any recruits again until then. That said, all of these guys that are still uncommitted, and we'll talk about a few of them, Deuce Geralds and Jace Matthews and Darius Gray, the O-lineman, like all those guys visited LSU multiple times and took official visits to LSU and went ahead and got out of the way all their other visits. So August will bring some decisions, even though it's a dead period, and LSU's going to have hats on the table.
Let's start with Jace Matthews. August 8th is his commitment date. And look, I mean, LSU obviously already has Tristan Keys in the class. Jace Matthews would just, I mean, Shea, you'd know better than me, but I mean, that's got to arguably make them the top receiver class in the country if they can get his commitment and obviously get him signed. Where do things stand with Jace Matthews?
Well, yeah, you think about it. They've got, 4 commits right now at receiver. Jabari Mack and Kenny Darby, being 2 in-state guys who are the highest-ranked guys in Louisiana. Tristan Keys is the top guy in the country relative to the rankings and everything like that. And he stayed a 5-star and at the top of that list. I already mentioned Jabari Mack, already mentioned Kenny Darby as the in-state kids. So they're sitting at 3. So the thought was, could you add a 4th? And they did have a 4th at one time, Ja'Kai Anderson. He went to SMU, flipped his commitment there. He's kind of like the prize jewel of their receiver class. And you get it. It's totally understandable. But can you add a 4th? Like right now, Moose, we can argue that these 3 can make up the best receiver class in the country.
That's
and for those that don't know, On3 acquired Rivals. So now when On3 does NIL, team coverage, all of that, and then Rivals, which is the most historic name in recruiting, is kind of rebranded, and we put all of our On3 recruiting stuff into the Rivals side now. So when you see a Rivals ranking, it's the On3 rankings team. So it matches kind of what things have been. And I'm looking at it right now. The wide receiver rankings, there's well over 1,000 guys ranked around the country. I didn't need to scroll past on my phone the first 2 people. Tristan Keys is 1, Jace Matthews is 2. So that's the type of talent we're talking about in Jace Matthews. And he's going to go ahead and announce in early August here, August 8th. Ole Miss, Auburn, LSU, A&M, last team standings. But if you're going to make me pick right now, I'd pick LSU. I know Auburn's been hot and heavy on him. A&M missed on some receivers. They've tried for Tristan Keys. They had Boobie Feaster leave for the West Coast. Some other Texas kids had left for the West Coast. So they're going to be in on him as well. But I don't know. I just think that they've done so well in Mississippi. But for so long, Jace Matthews has been a guy that's been around LSU. And I just think it took a while for LSU fans to look up and be like, oh, he's the number 2 receiver in America. Like, that's how good he is. And you add him to that class, it would remind me of the Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton, Jack Bash group. Deion Smith had signed in that class. He was the number 1 receiver out of Mississippi at the time. But that's the type of kind of talent you're talking about here. And, boy, that would be a nice way to kind of bulk up wide receiver if you will, if you can bring in your 2 best receivers in Louisiana and then the 2 best out-of-state receivers in the country.
Yeah,
who happen to be border states.
Memory serves. The Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, that class, that worked out pretty well for LSU and those guys, both of them first-round picks. Shea Dixon with us on 3, Bengal Tiger, obviously, as he mentioned there, Rivals as well on Twitter X at Shea Dixon. Shea, a couple more for you. Darius Gray, August 9th, it looks like, is his commitment date. And obviously, Bo Davis has done a tremendous job on the offensive line. They're going to have to go out of state to pull Darius Gray. Where do things stand there?
Look, and Wiltfong, Steve Wiltfong does such a great job. Chad Simmons, those guys, Sam Spiegelman from the national side. But Wiltfong's really been tuned in with Darius Gray for a long time, and he put his LSU pick in a while back. And Gray's made unofficial visits, his official visit weekend with family. And even though he's from Virginia, we've seen Brad Davis and his staff go out to the East Coast, wherever, to sign kids. And Darius Gray has just been a massive priority for him. And let's go ahead and get this out of the way. He's a 5-star and the number 1 interior O-lineman in the country. And last year, that's where Carius Curran sat as the top 2 interior O-lineman and at number 1, 5-star prospect. And the year prior, Tyler Miller coming out of Mississippi, or was that 2 years ago, was Weston Davis, who was late flip, but 5-star, number 1 at the position. You just can't count Brad Davis out and the staff out on these guys. And I'm still leaning LSU. There's a couple weeks left. It's the NIL era, but it's a lot like Lamar Brown. There's a million teams involved, but I always knew that it would come down to LSU and A&M. And I think everybody feels this is going to come down to South Carolina, team near him, and LSU. They prioritized him for a long time. So one of those teams is my guess, but I picked on LSU, and I haven't moved it yet. So, boy, if you want to round out a really nice O-line class, it's been very offensive tackle heavy. No better way to do it than go ahead and get the number 1 interior O-lineman in the country.
And then, Shea, Deuce Gerald's on the defensive line. I mean, LSU already has a solid defensive line class. Looks like they're battling. I mean, Oregon and Ohio State definitely stand out here with Gerald's. Is this an outside shot for LSU, or are they very much in this?
Well, they're very much in this. I mean, remember his dad, Davern Geralds, played at Scotlandville and went to Ole Miss when Frank Wilson and Coach O, everybody was there. But Frank was the primary recruiter, and now Frank's here. So that's really kind of helped them out for getting him to campus and then getting the whole family in for the official visit. And he's been very quiet, Moose, about who might lead. I mean, even I can tell you, talking to people behind the scenes in different colleges, they're all like, so who leads here? Who leads here? Who leads here? And kudos to him for kind of keeping it quiet. I saw an Oregon pick go in, but I can also tell you there's some nervous moments around Oregon the past week of, are we going to get him or not? And I think, look, yes, his dad went to Ole Miss. Yes, they prioritized him. Ole Miss hasn't had a great run this year on kind of in the trenches, certainly on the O-line, but can they reel in a legacy in Gerald's? I wouldn't rule him out. He's leaving Georgia. That's where he plays his high school ball. I'm with you that Ohio State has a ton to sell. I don't think he goes to Michigan. That's the other school. Mm-hmm. If I'm putting a pick in, I'm putting it on LSU. And it's not done, but I just get a gut feeling that when the dust starts to settle, with family still in Scotlandville and the Baton Rouge area and all of that, and his familiarity with the staff and, kind of the relationship he's built with Kyle Williams, Blake Baker, Kevin Peoples, whomever it might be, and then, even people on the personnel side, that LSU's not out of this. They are in the top group and kind of going toe-to-toe with the Oregons of the world.
Shea, you're bringing the heat today, man. That's 3 straight LSU picks from you.
Yes,
from
but
you
that
right
was all
there.
I had, so I'm done now.
Last one for you, man. I really appreciate it. Where the class stands. I mean, look, man, there's been so much shuffling in those recruiting rankings. Does LSU still have a shot at the number 1 class?
If all my guesses there come to fruition, we sure do bulk it up a good bit. And it'll be a smaller class by design, because I think in the NIL era, rev share is here. And now they finally have a roster that is well balanced, that you don't need to go sign 30 high school kids. You just don't. So what's the approach? Well, it's signed 20 to 25, right? And right now they have 16 commits. It's easily a top 10 class. It's been kind of fluctuates in 1 for a lot of time. But, if you go a month without getting any commits or whatever, and other teams start getting commits, it all kind of shuffles. But boy, you add 2 of the 3 of those, and you're right back into the top 3. So they can push for number 1, but at the same time, I think beyond those guys, maybe you find, look, they still don't have a quarterback, so you're going to go into the season trying to flip somebody. But I would guess they hit 20 and maybe a little above that. But it won't be your typical 25 to 30 man class just because they don't need it. I mean, find the guys you feel best about, get all your rev share and NIL in order, get your playing time in order, and go after them. And I think that's kind of the smart move right now. So that's the names I'm watching. A position like quarterback, obviously tight end could be a position that takes them over 20. But right now, I think all the focus is on what happens here in the coming weeks with, as you mentioned, a borderline 5-star in Deuce Gerald's at D-line, a 5-star on the O-line in Darius Gray, and a 5-star at receiver in Jace Matthews.
Quality over quantity. It's a great approach. I like that approach an awful lot. He's Shea Dixon with us every week here on AFR, on 3 the Bingo Tiger, Rivals Network now as well. Get him on Twitter X at Shea Dixon. Shea, we appreciate it as always, man. We'll do it again next week.
Sounds good.
All right, that is Shea Dixon. We're going to grab a break, but first, Matt's going to tell you about First South Farm Credit.
AFR is brought to you by First South Farm Credit. You know where to start. Your first call, your first visit, your first option when it comes to buying land in Louisiana is First South Farm Credit. And honestly, it doesn't even have to be land in Louisiana because First South Farm Credit can help you buy land in any of the contiguous 48. And they've got more than 40 branches in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. So if you're right here in the Southeast, there's First South Farm Credit locations all near you. But remember, like, for example, let's say a lot of our audience in New Orleans, of course. You're living in New Orleans, maybe you're starting to build a family, grow a family. You want to move to the North Shore like a lot of people do. You want to buy the 100 acres in Tangipahoa. You can, and First South Farm Credit can help because they have an office in Amite. So you can walk in there, you can do business with someone who talks like you, lives where you live, and help you buy land wherever you want to buy land in the contiguous 48. It's First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call, your first option should be First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com.
All right, we're going to grab a break, come back on the other side. A big blow to the Ole Miss Rebels just ahead of fall camp. We'll tell you about that next in Around the SEC.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Duplessis Builders, DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net. Y'all, whenever we talk about the pool building process, I don't want this to be boring to you, but it's important that I point out how Duplessis goes about their process, because it gives color and description to why they were able to give a 10-year workmanship warranty. Like when some companies say, we'll build your pool in 2 weeks, like that's not a real thing. At Duplessis, the excavation takes 2 to 3 days. Then they'll shoot the gunite. Takes 21 days for gunite, for concrete to cure. So they're not going to proceed until those 21 days have passed. The product will last longer, so they're not going to rush the process. After you let that tiling and coping cure for 2 weeks, then you add water. Before you add water, then you plaster. So it's why a lot of pools start to fail in 2 to 3 years because they don't do it right. You'll never worry about that with Duplessis Builders.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown,
parishbuilt.com. Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed
for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawbillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. They will always find a way to get you the best possible price for the best possible tires on the road. That's what they do at Shawbills. And when they get you in by selling you the best tires at the cheapest price possible, they're going to treat you like family, and they're going to treat you so good you're going to keep coming back year after year after year every time you need anything for your vehicle. Tires rotated, oil changed, check engine light on, brakes squeaking, whatever's wrong with your vehicle, bring it to Shawbills. Let them give it the once-over. And you can always schedule online, so it's convenient. ShawbillsTire.com. Find the location nearest you at ShawbillsTire.com. Shop tires online at ShawbillsTire.com. Be sure to ask about the Shawbills credit card as well, because you can save $50 off your first purchase when you use the Shawbills credit card only at Shawbills.
All right, welcome back in. After further review here on a Wednesday, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Let's go ahead and go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Ole Miss Rebels.
Oh, boy. Multiple sources have confirmed to 247 Sports that Ole Miss junior tight end Luke Haas recently suffered a right ankle injury. He underwent surgery on Friday. It is expected to sideline him for the majority of the 2025 season, if not longer. 6'3", 240-pound, massive offseason addition for Lane Kiffin. Remember, he spent his freshman and sophomore seasons with Arkansas, where he really burst onto the scene. Now out for the majority of the season for Ole Miss in 2025. They will rely now on Daquan Wright, Trace Bruckler, and Hayden Bradley, second major injury of Haas's college career.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia defensive back commit Chase Calicut was arrested in Texas, charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, according to Fox 26 in Houston. His future status in Georgia's recruiting class of 2026 is unknown at this time. According to the report, it was him and another teen. They were allegedly in an incident involving 2 other teenagers they knew from school. The report states that Calicut made allegedly multiple erratic moves in a car, including speeding ahead and hitting the brakes. After the teens in the other car were able to pull ahead, apparently a gunshot was heard, and another person driving behind them did cite a passenger in the car firing a gun out of the window. He committed to Georgia back in June over Texas and Michigan. We'll see what comes of it.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Alabama lands a commitment from quarterback Taden Kawa. He's out of the state of Utah. A 3-star announced his decision to commit to the Tide over BYU Tuesday evening. 6'5", 235-pounder, second quarterback and the 20th commit for Alabama's 2026 class. He is the 26th ranked quarterback in the composite and the 6th place best player in Utah.
The Auburn Tigers.
And Auburn baseball, they have extended Coach Butch Thompson and given him another raise. 6 years the extension through 2031, potentially 2 rollover years as well. New base salary of $1.5 million, also built-in incentives that could push that higher. The deal also includes an increase in pay for Auburn's staff. That moves them now into the top half of the SEC in terms of head coach and assistants and support staffs. It's well-deserved. They're coming off another strong season, 41-20, hosted the first super regional in school history. There you have it. That is around the SEC. This is after further review. Here on a Wednesday, Musso in for Moscona. Scone is back on Monday. We'll grab a break, come back, close out hour number 1 of AFR. Jimmy Graham got lost in the shuffle yesterday with the Tyron Mathieu news, but he is also set to retire here in the coming days as a Saint. Has some thoughts. We'll give you those to close out hour 1 next.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, do what injured people in Louisiana have done for more than 30 years. Call Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. 888-8888. It's all 8s. 888-8888. I don't even need to give you the area code because no matter where you are in the state, it doesn't matter. Just dial 888-8888 for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Gordon does an awesome job, man. He's a great person. They've been so invested in our communities with all the charitable and service work that they do. They give back into the communities that they represent, no matter what time of year. If it's the bike giveaway for kids around Christmas time, if it's the laptop giveaway around back to school time, if it's the charitable work they do during October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, they're always involved in the community. We tell you all the time, of course, about the G team and what Gordon's done with NIL and the opportunities that he's afforded student athletes. Just a great, great community partner. If you've been injured, you need representation, go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business. 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Go
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
AFR is brought to you by Parish Restoration. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens, commercial or residential. As a matter of fact, Parish Restoration, I love the process, by the way. If you go to the website at parishrestoration.com, you can see videos of their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. So you see exactly what it looks like. Very cool. But they have fogged, over at Parish Restoration, they fogged one of the largest buildings in the entire state of Louisiana. So it doesn't matter if it's your office building, your church, whatever it may be, school, or your home. They can even fog your car. Maybe your car has a weird odor, musty smell. Maybe you bought a used car from a smoker and you can't get that smoky smell out. This will do it. They'll come while you're at work, fog it. By the time you're done with work for the day, boom, you're back in a clean smelling, fresh smelling vehicle. It's Parish Restoration. Learn more at parishrestoration.com. Parishrestoration.com. Do business with someone you know. Parishrestoration.com.
Off the play fake. Breeze throws. Jimmy Graham, touchdown.
That was one of 51 career touchdowns for Jimmy Graham in 5 seasons with the New Orleans Saints. His career set to come to an end. This got lost in the shuffle a little bit on Tuesday because of the Tyron Mathieu news, but, I mean, Jimmy Graham is one of the best Saints, and it obviously deserves its own time, its own day to really dive in. So on Tuesday, John DeShazer of the Saints website, JD, had a report that Jimmy Graham planned to officially announce his retirement in the near future. Jimmy Graham would come behind the report from JD and confirm it. He has not officially announced, but he has confirmed the report that he will, and that he will retire a New Orleans Saint. And while that is absolutely how it should be, make no mistake, that was absolutely the plan from Jimmy Graham when he was traded and found his way back to New Orleans. When he met with the media after the trade back on July 31st, 2023, Jimmy Graham talked about he was trying to get back to New Orleans for a very long time. And he also said the conversations with his agent, Jimmy Sexton, were New Orleans or nothing.
A bunch of teams had reached out last year, and I talked to Jimmy Sexton, and just made it clear that if I don't retire as a Saint, then I wasn't going to play again. So that was kind of the determination.
There it is, right there. Made it clear to his agent, if I don't retire with the Saints, then I'm just not going to play again. And ultimately, I mean, 'cause you remember, he could have come in and signed a one-day contract, right, and retired a Saint that way. But instead, Jimmy Sexton found a way to get him back to New Orleans, found a way for him to play one more season in the black and gold. And look, while 2023 wasn't great for Jimmy Graham, he did end up with 4 touchdowns. It just took Dennis Allen and the Saints way too long to figure out how to get him involved, which is absurd. He was still a great red zone target even at his older age. But it's what you'll remember about Jimmy Graham before that, and how he really took the Peyton and Breeze, or how big of a part he was to take the Peyton and Breeze offense really to the next level. A 3rd-round pick in 2010, 386 career catches, over 4,700 career yards, and the 51 touchdowns in 5 seasons with the Saints. I mean, y'all, more than half of his yards came in a New Orleans Saints uniform. We know he wanted receiver money at the end, and it wasn't going to work out, so he ends up obviously in Seattle, Green Bay, and a couple in Chicago, and he never really reached the heights. But that's not ultimately what it's about. It's about Jimmy Graham's legacy that he left with the Saints, and the fact that he was the best tight end in football in those first 4 years in the league that he spent with New Orleans. I mean, it was, yeah, yes, Gronk was there, and you can have that conversation, but it's hard to argue against Jimmy Graham being the best tight end in football, and his journey is incredible. Where, I mean, he played football for 2 years at Miami. Other than that, he was a basketball player, and a really good one. And it led to the trademark slam dunk celebration and all the things that we'll remember about Jimmy Graham. And he was a major factor on what many believe is the greatest Saints team in history in 2011. like a major factor. And in fact, that was his first 1,000-yard season. It was his career high in receiving yards in 2011 with 1,300. In 2013, he led the entirety of the NFL in receiving touchdowns. He was absolutely awesome. In his time with New Orleans, 3-time Pro Bowler, a first-team All-Pro, a second-team All-Pro. He'll go down in history. He's the best tight end in Saints history. And, he'll obviously be Saints Ring of Honor, Saints Hall of Fame, maybe even Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's certainly got a case there, and one that I think ultimately he will end up in there. So congratulations on a great career for Jimmy Graham. He also just set a world record with part of a rowing team, fastest time across the Arctic Circle. So congratulations on that. A great career, and one we will remember, obviously, for a very, very, very long time. A great Saint, Jimmy Graham. Congratulations on his retirement. Okay, we're going to grab a break. SportsCenter will get you caught up on national headlines. When we come back, the Saints have signed Julian Blackmon as a safety. We'll tell you everything you need to know about that next here on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. When we talk about Relief Windows every day, I always say windows, doors, siding. And now shutters as well. They do your indoor shutters. Same thing as the windows. Custom made, measured to fit your windows, custom fit for your windows, lifetime warranty on your windows, your shutters. But Brandon, you often hear say their number one product is customer satisfaction. And that's not just a catchy line. That's not a cliche phrase. Have an experience with Relief Windows and you'll understand. They go to the ends of the earth to make sure their customers are thrilled with the work they do. As a matter of fact, Relief Windows never takes $1 from you. You will not, no deposit, no down payment. They take all the risk. They will not take $1 until you're thrilled with the work they do. Who else does that? Only Relief Windows. Check them out online at ReliefWindows.com.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs: reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business, internet, phone, and managed services. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Saints will sign free agent safety Julian Blackmon, who played for the Colts last season. As training camp starts, Russell Wilson is the Giants' starting quarterback. The team signed Wilson and Jameis Winston as free agents. They drafted Jackson Dart in the first round, and they also have Tommy DeVito. Wilson played for the Steelers last year. Baseball, the Giants hammer the Braves today 9-5 in Atlanta.
3-2, Devers swings, drives one. High and deep, right center, way back, and he's done it again. Rafael Devers, one pitch after getting brushed back, crushes a 3-run home run.
The call on KNBR one day after playing his first ever game at first base. Devers back at DH today. He homers twice and drives in 4. 42-year-old Justin Verlander gets his first win of the season in his 17th start for the Giants.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Off and running, hour number 2 after further review on a Wednesday, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Musso in for Moscona. Taylor Sharp, Paul O'Neill, they're along for the ride, and glad to have you along for the ride here as well as we push off the dock for hour number 2. Saints sign a safety. We'll get to that momentarily. But of course, Trey Holly, the news, he is now a Southern Jaguar. We'll talk about that, what it means for the running back room at LSU. The bottom of this hour, we'll head down to New Orleans, get a boots on the ground training camp report, day number 1 for Matthew Paris. And Brian Kelly, he met with the Rotary Club Wednesday before training camp. Every single year, Brian Kelly meets with Baton Rouge Rotary today, and a touch of baseball for LSU that I want to mix in the third hour as well. So we still have a ton to get to, and glad you were here for all of it. All right, so Tuesday, Tyron Mathieu retires. 12-year career in the NFL, over. He'll hang up the cleats, move on. That leaves a hole in the Saints' safety room. What were they going to do to address it? We looked at it, said, okay, this is a huge opportunity for Jonas Sanker, obviously, your third-round pick here in the 2025 draft. Rookie, can he earn his way onto the field? But also, there's free agency. And Mickey Loomis, in his own way, acknowledged the Saints would explore options in free agency to replace Tyron Mathieu. And, well, it did not take long. Just hours after the news official on Tyron Mathieu, the Saints went ahead and signed Julian Blackmon. Jesse Palmer from ESPN, the first to report that. It was backed up and confirmed by Ian Rappaport of NFL Media. So, who is Julian Blackmon? Julian Blackmon was a third-round draft pick of the Indianapolis Colts in 2020 in the COVID draft. He has spent 5 seasons in Indianapolis. That is the extent of his NFL career. He was 26 years old a year ago, so you like the age of a guy like Julian Blackmon as well. The other thing you like, versatility and production. Julian Blackmon has been a very, very productive player so far in his time in the NFL. 5 years in Indy, 300 tackles through those 5 years, 21 passes defense, 10 interceptions. He has played in 66 games with 62 starts. That's a lot of production from a player who's still young. That's a major check mark in the box for Julian Blackmon. Then there's the versatility. 556 snaps. Credit Ross Jackson here over at LouisianaSports.net. It's free. You should go read all of his stuff. 566 snaps in the slot. 811 snaps in the box. 2,704 as the deep coverage safety. Obviously, that's where he fits best, 2,700 snaps. But the versatility does jump off the charts. That's something that Jonas Sanker also has going for him. So you really like the addition there for Blackmon. Another check in the box. So you might be sitting there, and I'm not going to lie, I'd worry about you if you weren't. You might be sitting there saying, Moose, he checks all the boxes. He's got the size, the versatility, the production. Why is this guy unsigned in late July as training camps kick off around the NFL? How is he still a free agent? And that's a great question, and it's the question that you should be asking. And that's where the big ol' yeah, but comes in with Julian Blackmon. Darn it! I was doing so well with Julian Blackmon. Long story short, there are injury problems. That's one half of the coin. The other half is, because of that, his market has never just responded the way that he wanted it to. So, Blackmon, after the 2023 season, tested free agency. The market didn't respond. He signs a one-year deal worth less than $4 million to return to Indianapolis. He was hopeful that he would improve his odds in his market, and while he played 16 games in 2024, he was hurt for all of them. Is the third major injury kind of his career. He played through it, and we'll get to that more on that momentarily. But that's going to soften the market for you, obviously. So he remains unsigned, and the Saints pick him up. Those injuries. In 2021, Blackmon played just 6 games. Season ended on IR. In 2023, he played in 15 games, 88 tackles, which was a career high, 4 interceptions, which was a career high. Very productive season. The problem is that season also ended on IR. That's when he went and tested free agency, didn't like the market, returned to Indianapolis. In the first game of the season, the opener in 2024, he tore his labrum. Now, to his credit, he played through it. 16 games, 16 starts, and was awesome. And the Colts needed him to play through that because their secondary was ravaged by injuries. In those 16 games with a torn labrum, he turns in 86 tackles. He intercepted 3 passes. It was his second most productive season in his time in the NFL, all with a torn labrum. I love that. I love the toughness. But he's still not at full strength there. This is a guy that's going to have to remain healthy, and that the Saints are going to really need to remain healthy. If for nothing else, a depth piece. But that was kind of the conversation we had. Do they go out and get a depth and really push Jonas Sanker kind of into the forefront here and say, hey, rookie, go earn your stripes? Or is it a guy that they bring in that they feel can contribute immediately? Julian Blackmon is a guy that they feel can come in and contribute immediately with those numbers. But he's going to have to stay healthy. because the Saints have other options. The Colts really didn't a year ago. The Saints do. What'll be very interesting to see is now how he will fit into the rotation when he gets into training camp. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the show. Your first team safeties day number 1 of camp were Justin Reed and Jordan Howden. You saw Jonas Sanker run second team. How does Blackman fit in when he gets to camp? My gut feeling would be second team reps to start as he gets acclimated to the system. There is no tie to Brandon Staley's system for a guy like Blackman. So you'll probably see him run a little lower on the depth chart early in camp until he picks it up. And the later you get, keep an eye on where they have him running, because that could show you an awful lot. But the health, that's the yeah but. And given the Saints' injury history, that's a yeah but that I'm not particularly comfortable with in bringing him in. I like the player. I like the versatility. I like the production. I like him playing through injury. But I'd like it a lot more if he hit 2024 without that injury. But then again, he probably wouldn't have been available for you here in this juncture of the offseason like he was. So we'll see how it plays out. But it checks a lot of boxes. And if he stays healthy, you might have a steal, because the age is still really good here for a guy like Julian Blackman. He'll arrive at training camp and get things underway with the rest of the New Orleans Saints secondary. All right, we're going to grab a break. Come back on the other side. Trey Holly to Southern. What remains in LSU's running back room? We'll talk about that next here on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. I love sharing 5-star Google reviews. Here's one from Ricky Gomez, who said Chris, his technician, was very professional and knowledgeable during the HVAC evaluation. He provided details and recommendations in a clear and concise manner. That's one of the things that always stands out. If you're having an issue with your AC or your heater, and River City's 1 Hour Air sends out a technician for an evaluation, they're going to explain your options to you. And that may sound simple, but none of it, I don't know anything about an HVAC, neither do you. Let's be honest. So whenever they go get up in your attic or they go look at your HVAC unit on the side of your house and they come talk to you, they're going to explain very clearly what's happening and your options to remedy it. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luva, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the...
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Save some money, go to Rouse's. Get the weekly ad. Go to rouses.com. You can click on the weekly ad. You're going to shop for your groceries. You're on a budget. Rouse's is going to help you save. Or just go to Rouse's and look for the Rouse's branded products, because one of the most impressive things about Rouse's is whenever they have that Rouse's the R logo with the circle around it. If you see that Rouse's branded logo, so their products, they always do whatever they can to source locally. Whatever ingredients they can source locally in Louisiana, they do it for their products. And they're going to save you money. Great quality products will save you money, and always a friendly atmosphere as well. It's Rouse's. The official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
All right, welcome back in after further review here on a Wednesday. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, bringing you AFR. Musso in for Moscona. Scone's on vacation. He's out the rest of the week. He'll be back with you on Monday. So Tuesday night, a little bit of a surprise. When you open up social media, you saw Trey Holly in a Southern Jaguars uniform. Brendan Fairbairn over at Louisiana First News, first to report it. And obviously it was since confirmed by plenty more. I mean, you didn't really need to confirm it. He had video of Trey Holly at practice with the Southern Jaguars. Have thoughts, obviously, on how this transpired, how Holly ends up there, what it means for LSU. But first, here's Terrence Graves, head coach of Southern, talking about adding Trey Holly to the roster.
Well, he got enrolled in school, and so we're going to give him an opportunity to work out here. And he paid his way, got admitted in school, and we're gonna give him an opportunity to be a part of our program. Let's just see what he does. Give him an opportunity. Don't put a whole lot of added pressure, extra pressure on him. Just be the young man that he is, and we know him as.
So a couple interesting things there. You would hear him say he paid his own way. Trey Holly's going to walk on at Southern and earn a spot. What you didn't hear in that cut, but Graves later did, was confirm that Trey Holly is eligible at Southern. So let's back up a little bit and kind of just the journey for Trey Holly, because this brings a pretty embattled 2+ years at LSU to a close. Trey Holly signs in the class of 2023 with the Tigers. He is coming off setting the state record for rushing for high school football. And he plays sparingly as a freshman. The highlight of his freshman year was the 67-yard touchdown run against Army in mop-up time. Leading into the 2024 season, that's obviously when the shooting incident happened up in Union Parish. It led to Trey Holly having 4 charges against him, including attempted murder. Holly turned himself in and was adamant from day one that he was wrongly accused and wrongly misidentified in the entire ordeal. LSU obviously rules him ineligible indefinitely. The attempted murder charges eventually dropped because, thank goodness, but 2 charges remained. And after that, you entered this cycle of Trey Holly's court hearing just continually being delayed time and time again. How many times did Brian Kelly have to get in front of a mic and say, oh, the resolution should come here, and then get in front of the mic again and go, well, it got delayed again. We're hoping for a resolution here. And the reasons for this just got more and more absurd. Look no further than the latest on July 7th when the hearing was pushed back because the air conditioner broke in the Union Parish courthouse. That's one of the most Louisiana things ever, but I digress. Now the hearing is hopefully set for August the 28th. But in the meantime, Trey Holly seeks greener pastures, seeks a fresh start, and he'll get that at Southern. And look, I wish Trey Holly nothing but the best. I hope the young man has a resolution soon in this court case, in his legal situation. Again, he has maintained that he was not involved, that he was misidentified. He has maintained innocence, and you are innocent until proven guilty. I hope he has a resolution, and I hope it's a very positive resolution for him so he can get his life back on track and become the football player that I think all of us thought he would be when he signed as a record-setting running back. The other half of this is, where does it leave LSU's running back room for 2025? And the short answer is, well, it's not much different than what you already had because Trey Holly wasn't practicing. I really like where LSU's running back room is for 2025. And if you've heard me fill in for Matt any time here throughout the offseason, that is like my number one question. Okay, LSU, they have to run the ball better than they did a year ago. And why will they? Like, why am I to believe that LSU will be better in the running game? You're replacing 4 starters on the offensive line. The 4 you're replacing got drafted, and you couldn't run the ball a year ago. Maybe it's because you're better in the running back room. And I really believe that LSU is better from a running back position. Look, you're returning Caden Durham, so you have experience there. Caden Durham burst onto the scene as a freshman, right? He played in every game except for one, the opener. So you're looking at 12 games, counting the bowl game for Caden Durham. 753 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns. He showed he could catch the ball out of the backfield. He looked like a complete back. He got better as the year progressed in pass protection. You'll look for him to take a big jump there as he's now the guy. But I love bringing back a guy with 750 yards who played in 12 games and did a lot of that playing through a foot injury that required him to wear like a metal plate in his cleat for the majority of the year. That brings back experience. Then you get to a guy like Caleb Jackson, who also has experience. Caleb Jackson has played in 26 games for LSU. Has it ever reached the heights that we all hoped it would, including Caleb Jackson himself? Not yet. But I will bring you back to spring practice when Caleb Jackson met with the media. And it was the most impactful media session with a player that we had, was Caleb Jackson's. I firmly believe that. And it's why I look at him and say, all right, maybe this is the year that he kind of puts it all together. Remember, Caleb Jackson also ran track at Liberty High School, was very good. He played 2 years of varsity football. He had a lot to learn still about the game of football, about the running back position. And he burst onto the scene as a freshman when he ran through that kid's soul at Mississippi State. And everybody said, oh, Caleb Jackson's the next one. I mean, as soon as that happened, it was, why is Caleb Jackson out on the field more? Why is Caleb Jackson out on the field more? And to be fair, when he got his opportunities that year, he did well. He ended up with 165 yards and 4 touchdowns as a freshman. It's not the season you just saw from Caden Durham, but Caleb Jackson was productive and made the most of his opportunities he was given as a true freshman. And the hype train started for 2024, and 2024 was disappointing. Only 44 carries and 150 yards. He did not find the end zone. And when Caleb Jackson met with the media, he talked about the freshman year hype and that he bought into it a little bit. Give a listen.
Growth-wise, like I said, I had to get way stronger mentally going through last year. Like, I went through my freshman year, and everybody saying, oh, Caleb Jackson, the next this, next that, next this, oh, he's going to be amazing. And I kind of got high on cloud nine thinking, okay, it's just going to happen. Like, if I just keep doing what I'm doing, it's just going to happen. And that's not how it happens. You got to stay in the film room. You got to stay doing this, stay doing that, and keep stacking and keep growing as a player. So really, I just got to think, maybe I can shoot for the stars, but at the same time, I got to stay grounded and spill my feet off. I got to be Caleb Jackson, you know what I'm saying? Just play like me, run like me, read like me, and, you know what I'm saying, just be great like me.
Incredibly mature of Caleb Jackson to acknowledge that. You know what? I bought into the hype. This is going to be easy. I just have to keep doing what I'm doing, and it'll all work out. And he says, that's not how it happens, and it's not. That's an incredibly mature mindset and approach for him to be able to admit that after a tough season that he had as a sophomore. And continuing with the maturity, he was asked his goals for 2025. And, you know, every player's asked that. And certain answers stand out more than others. Caleb Jackson's did. These are his goals for 2025.
Just to be more of an overall back, better at pass protection first and foremost. Short, down and distance, I wanted to be better in that, not getting denied at the goal line. What else? Be a third down back where I can get out the backfield, catch passes, all that type of stuff. And, of course, just run the ball, be explosive, break tackles, and everything, all of the above.
He went through each thing. He spent time on each thing. First and foremost, pass protection. It was short yardage. Got to be better there. Want to be on the field at third down. Don't want to get denied in the red zone. On and on and on. And Punctuation says, you know what? All of it. Just be a better overall back. What that also shows you, though, is two things. One, as we said earlier, 2 years of varsity football. There was a lot to learn there. It was a big jump for him. But I love the awareness and the confidence to say those things. It's easy coming off of a bad year where things did not go your way to not have that type of mindset, that workman-like mindset. And that's why. Like, that sounds like a guy who is motivated to be better at those things. And LSU's going to need him to be because he's a veteran. He's the only other veteran back that you have. I'm really fired up for Caleb Jackson's season. I think this could finally be the time where it starts to come to fruition. And you know what? He deserves it because he stuck through it. He stayed true to LSU. He didn't enter the transfer portal, any of that. He's cut some weight this offseason to kind of get back to the 225 he was playing at as a freshman. I'm fired up to see Caleb Jackson. Now, then you have Harlem Berry, 5-star freshman, #1 ranked running back in the country. Brian Kelly, during the spring, nothing but praise for Harlem Berry.
He's a natural runner of the football. He sees things that you just don't coach. And, you know, the great backs just have that natural, uncanny ability to see things on the move. And, you know, you just let it go. You know, he's got to be coached on protections. He's got to be coached on scheme. He's got to be coached on how to eat. You know, he's got to be coached on some other things, and we're doing it, and he's very receptive to that. I didn't mean to imply other, but he's really good, and I think he lives up to the billing of the best running back in the country because of his just natural instincts that he has as a running back.
Natural instincts, natural runner of the football, lives up to the billing of the #1 running back in the country. All things you want to hear. And then, you know, but there's the freshman stuff, pass protection, you know, all those things that he has to get better at. But Harlem Berry is going to play a major role for LSU offensively. He has a chance to really break games open for LSU early in his first season because he's such a natural runner of the football. That's something that Caleb Jackson still has to kind of learn. But there's a role for him if he can, you know, get the playing time and get himself onto the field in short yardage. He's a bigger guy in the red zone. You love all of those things with those three. And then, oh, by the way, there's JT Lindsey, who is a 4-star himself and probably has a little bit of a role for LSU again. And then you have some other reserves like Malachi Lane and guys like that who just have played very sparingly. You have the numbers. You have the depth. You have the talent in those top 4 with Durham, Jackson, Berry, and Lindsey. LSU is much better at a running back position this season than they were a year ago. Hopefully that leads to a big change for LSU's fortunes in the running game. A lot of that's going to come to the offensive line as well. But I think you're sitting really pretty. And again, you wish Trey Holly all the best in his next journey as a Southern Jaguar. Okay, we're going to grab a break, come back on the other side. We'll head down to New Orleans. Boots on the ground, training camp, day one report from Matthew Paris next here on AFR.
AFR.
GLO. GlowResources.com. GlowResources.com. Glow Resources, they are complete employer solutions. Get them by Glow Resources or go to GlowResources.com. If you're a business owner and you want to be more efficient, maybe you're really struggling to find the right person in your job at your place to make your business more efficient. Maybe you're struggling to find people who are responsible, people that show up on time, people that are efficient when they work. You ever had a job where you think, man, that should have been done in 2 hours and it takes 8 hours? Well, what if you had the right people to get that done? I'm telling you, Glow Resources can find them. And while their corporate headquarters are here in Baton Rouge, which I love about them, by the way, they've got offices in Miami, in Orlando, in Houston, in New Orleans, in the Golden Triangle, and they service businesses all over the world. So no matter where your business does business, if you need the right people, you need Glow Resources.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Yeah, I felt like it was good. It's the first day coming off of a summer break. There's always an element of you want it to be a lot cleaner and a lot smoother, but thought our guys came out. The effort was good. We'll clean up a lot of the details, and that's what training camp's all about.
New Orleans Saints, they opened training camp. There was Kellen Moore on his first day. except for the guys on PUP list, everybody was out there today, which is a great sign as well. Participation just where you want to see it. Matthew Paris, he was out there watching day one of Saints practice. New Orleans advocate, also the Times-Picayune. He's on Twitter, X, at Matthew_Paris. He joins us now. Matthew, we appreciate the time. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Let's just start kind of overview of practice. How was it set up? Differences maybe from OTAs, mini camps? Were there any?
Well, the main difference was they were doing 11-on-11 work, something we hadn't really seen during OTAs at all, but it still felt like spring vibes. The mood was pretty relaxed. It was a crisp, easy practice. We were only out there an hour, like in 8 minutes. And we saw the quarterbacks, but that was about it. I mean, we were watching most of the quarterbacks today.
Let's talk about those quarterbacks. Looked like Spencer Rattler had an awesome day, just kind of reading the tea leaves and everything that was coming out of camp. What'd you make of him running the first team offense here day one?
Yeah, he definitely looked like the most decisive one. He got the ball out pretty fast. That was completed to receivers. Made this gorgeous throw to Chris Olave. But the other ones, they were fine. Like, you could see that they were still handling the operation. Hello?
Oh, did we lose Matthew? Are you there?
I'm here, yeah.
Okay, all right. Nope, you're good. You were saying the other ones, you could see a little chink in the armor there?
Yeah, just in terms of the operation, they were a little slower. Maybe the backup offensive lines, when there were team drills, the pressure collapsed pretty quickly. It'll be just interesting to see how, like, Tyler Shuck, for instance, he's going to handle the first team tomorrow. There's like a margin improvement working with the starters.
I want to come back to Tyler Shuck. What about Jake Haener, though? Because obviously, look, he has the injury, OTA's minicamp has the injury there. And it feels like most people outside looking in, I mean, I'm guilty of this, see it as Rattler Shuck. Watching Haener today, is he in a position where he could push for this job?
I would really have to see it. I kind of fall in the camp that it's, Shuck, Rattler, and they're being polite to Haener. But I asked Kellen Moore yesterday about that and why they want to see Jake Haener in this, and he said that they liked him coming out of the draft when he was with the Chargers in 2023. Kellen Moore's brother coached Jake Haener at Fresno State, and he's known Haener a long time. And I think all these three guys are still pretty unproven to where they want to explore every angle, whether, any of these guys are actually a viable quarterback. So they're going to include him in the group.
All right. So to Tyler Shuck, obviously, look, second-round draft pick, fully guaranteed deal. Kellen Moore pinpointed him. A lot of people think that might mean something. I know Kellen Moore today gave the PC answer of, we like them all. We'll see how it plays out, whatnot. If you had to put a grade on day number one for Tyler Shuck, all things encompassing the outside factors, the second-team offensive line, how did he do?
I'll probably give him a C. I thought he was average. I will say when we saw from him in the spring, you saw like clear improvement day over day. And so I think as camp goes along, he'll get better and better. But today he seemed a little slow, like I said before. The pressure got there. The accuracy wasn't super crisp, but he was fine. Like, it was just a very standard day, and I think Rattler was the better quarterback, but I'm not dismissing Shuck by any means, and I look forward to seeing how he does tomorrow.
Do you think the question that was asked of Kellen Moore, if it gives Shuck an edge because he's quote-unquote like Moore's guy, do you think there is an element to that in this competition?
I do, if everything is equal. I mean, I think if Rattler has a better camp, they're not going to go with Shuck. I think Rattler has, if he looks like the better guy, they clearly are leaning toward Rattler's experience, at least from the get-go. They gave him the first team reps and not Shuck, so they still respect Rattler, I think. But if everything's going equal, or if Shuck, surpasses him, then he'll win the job. It's a pretty close competition right now.
Said you spent most time watching the quarterbacks today out there. Makes a lot of sense. Matthew Paris, our guest, New Orleans advocate, Times-Picayune. If you were doing that, though, I feel like you couldn't help but notice the running backs. Devin Neal splitting first-team reps there with Alvin Kamara. How'd the rookie look?
Yeah, I thought he looked fine. I mean, this was really our first chance to see the running backs in action, just given that, they were running behind the offensive lines in 11-on-11. Kendra Miller was working with the second and third teams. Devin Neal was taking some first team, I think, and also Clyde Edwards-Helaire is another guy in the mix. I mean, running back right now is wide open. You could tell me Kendra, you could tell me Devin Neal, you could tell me Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Cam Akers. It's just very open, and I'm interested to see how that rotation stacks going forward.
Couple more for you, Matthew. Your time very much appreciated. All right. Watching mostly quarterbacks offense, but I would, if you could, love a thought on the defense, because it's the first time we got to see them in 11-on-11. And I mean, for me, as much as the quarterbacks are intriguing, and they are, and that's the story of camp, and I understand that, this defense under Brandon Staley, I can't help but, kind of just want to watch every bit of it, because you didn't have any pads in the preseason so far, and I understand you'll get that next week, but just kind of the first day, 11-on-11 team drills, the defense, what you saw.
Yeah, my first eyes went to safety with Tyron Mathieu's unexpected retirement. Who was filling in there was Jordan Howden with the first team. They're going to sign Julian Blackman, so I'm sure he'll be in the mix there. Besides that, what stood out to me about Staley's defense is actually the way the players talked about it. They were very, very encouraged with the way that he teaches things, with the kind of the different coverages that he wants to implement. Obviously, this is going to be a lot heavier of a zone scheme than Dennis Allen's last defense, and so a lot of teams around the NFL are trying to implement this scheme because Vic Fangio has really had his influence kind of spread across the NFL, and Brandon Staley knows Vic Fangio well and has studied under him. So I've been interested by this hire, and there was nothing I saw today that made me not encouraged.
Safety was the last thing I wanted to go to with you. Julian Blackman, they bring him in, kind of two parts there. One, your thought on the signing and your best guess at how he does fit in. Is that a guy that comes in and kind of immediately competes for the starting role, or is that more with the current guys on the roster now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the contract is purportedly up to $5.5 million. Indicates that he'll be right in the mix, but a starting job isn't necessarily guaranteed. But he's pretty talented. He's had a lot of starting experience. He's been around. This is a guy that I think can adequately fill that hole that Matthew's leaving behind. But at the same time, Jordan Howden has kind of had a nice spring and has flown under the radar here a little bit, I think. So I think that's definitely going to be a competition. But if they lean toward Blackman because he's new and has played in the NFL for a while, that maybe he gets the edge there, but I have to see that fold.
He is Matthew Parrish, New Orleans Advocate, Times-Picayune, with us here on AFR. Get him on Twitter, X, at Matthew_Parrish. Matthew, we appreciate the time as always, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. There you go. Boots on the ground. Day one of training camp. All eyes on the quarterbacks, as you might expect. But, man, I will continue to say it. Brandon Staley's defense is going to command a lot of my attention, too, because we have not seen it. They did not do 11-on-11 through minicamp, through OTAs, any of that. They did not don pads through minicamp, OTAs, any of that. There's a lot of questions. When we talked about this on Tuesday's show, and I went through 5 things to watch, one of those 5 things was the defense, but specifically the rookies on defense, like Jonas Sanker, like a Danny Stutzman, because you haven't actually seen them yet. You'll get your opportunity to do that here in training camp. They'll put on pads next week, and that's when that'll really start to come to light. I think the addition of Julian Blackman is really intriguing. You heard him say there that the contract worth up to $5.5 million. So you would think, he is going to be thrown right into that mix. Again, I'll say as he gets up to speed, maybe he's running second team. It's also interesting to hear that Jordan Howden has, kind of had a fly under the radar offseason here so far. And man, that's encouraging. Look, that's a third-year player and a guy like Jordan Howden, who at times has flashed. At times in his Saints career, he's flashed, really, in his rookie season, mainly. I mean, played in 16 games, started 7. Now, a lot of that was kind of out of necessity due to injuries, but he was productive in that season. 43 tackles, 5 passes defense. He forced a fumble. Like, he acquitted himself well. Maybe that's a guy we are sleeping on, and he is flying under the radar. File that away. Keep that going. But I think what's also interesting with Staley's defense here is, besides the rookies, besides Howden maybe flying on the radar, is the rotation up front on the defensive line. You're going to go to that 3-4. I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense for a guy like Brian Brzee, who showed great ability rushing the passer from the defensive tackle position a year ago, to maybe play a bigger end in this system. You brought in Devon Godchaux, who's massive and is like now a 3-4 nose tackle, which is wild to think about where he was at LSU size-wise. But just the road, because you got a lot of guys there. You still have Nathan Shepard, Colin Saunders, Brzee, Granderson, Jordan, Chase Young. Like, there's plenty that you just bring back, not to mention, kind of what you added as well. So that's something to be very intrigued by, and you'll get more and more of that as training camp goes on. And again, when they put the pads on, man, that's really when it's going to come to light. But I love that they're energetic about the system. I love that they have nothing but good things to say about the system. I'm also not overly surprised at that. Brandon Staley's a really, really good defensive coordinator. The head coach opportunity didn't work out the first time. He'll get another one to see if he can learn from his mistakes. But one thing's for certain, he's been a very, very good defensive coordinator at the NFL level, and I don't see any reason for that to change here with the New Orleans Saints. So, again, yes, all eyes on the quarterback. I understand. We'll continue to cover that. But, man, I am just very, very intrigued about Brandon Staley's defense, because while the Saints' offense has slipped, and last year notwithstanding, they have still been a very, very good defensive team. And you would hope they get back to that here in 2025. All right, break coming up, but first, Matt Evermore.
Brought to you by Evermore. Drink Evermore, EVAMOR, Evermore.com, Evermore.com. For elite athletes, for someone who just wants a healthier lifestyle. Maybe you're a parent, you want a healthier option for your children. Evermore is a great option. I would highly encourage you, bottom line, if you're drinking tap water, don't. Bare minimum, filter your tap water. But the best option is Evermore. This is natural artesian water. It's underground aquifers on the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain, right there in Covington. They dug well into that aquifer, and I mean, it's literally thousands of years in the making. That's why they call it Mother Nature's masterpiece. That's what they're pulling out of the ground. The only filtration is take like the sediment from the ground out of the water, and it goes right into the bottle. So it never touches air until you uncap it, take that first delicious sip. Learn more where you can buy it, great retailers or online, EVAMOR, Evermore.com.
All right, we're going to grab our final break here of hour number 2. We'll come back, wrap up the hour with Tigers in the Pros. We still have to get to Brian Kelly, his meeting with Baton Rouge Rotary Club. We'll do that at the top of the next hour. And there's a little bit of LSU baseball that I want to dive in here today as well. Baseball America, the folks over there got me thinking, and there is some draft news, more signings for LSU as well. So grab a break. Tigers in the Pros, closing out hour 2 next.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham. Mid-City on Don Moore, Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. You know those 4 locations, and what an awesome time to get by Clegg's Nursery, because they still have every single day shipments of flowers coming in, plants, trees, shrubs. You want to beautify the exterior of your home. You want to add that pop of color to your flower bed, to your patio pots. Maybe you got unwanted pests like ants or snakes or mosquitoes, wasps. They can help you take care of all of them. Maybe you got weeds coming up in your lawn. You want to get rid of that. Maybe you got dead spots in your lawn. The horticulturists, the professionals at Clegg's Nursery have the knowledge, the know-how, the expertise, and all the products you need to win Yard of the Month every month for your whole life. Guaranteed. Actually, I can't back that up. You have to do some of the work, too. It's Clegg's Nursery.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Brought by Parish Construction Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Tell you every day do business with someone you know. That's me and Terrio and Richard Tilley and Joe Morales and Trent Davis and our whole staff. We appreciate everyone so much who's given us the opportunity. Our commercial roofing manager, Matt Pearson, sent us all a text that we were just awarded a large commercial roofing job today, and they heard us talking about it. Yes, of course, at your home, any roof repair, replacement, we love to help you out. We can install gutters for you. We do soft wash, do all of it. But I want to remind you that we are a commercial roofing company as well. So if your commercial building needs a new roof or repair, you have any issues whatsoever, we have the best guy. We went and scoured the world and found Matt Pearson in Florida, and we brought him to Baton Rouge. I'm convinced there's not a soul alive that knows more about commercial roofing than Matt Pearson. So if your commercial building is having any roof issues, roof repair, replacement, or you just need options, trust me, have a conversation with Matt Pearson. We'd love to help you out. parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com.
All right, we are wrapping up hour number 2 here of AFR on a Thursday on a Wednesday presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. We'll do so with Tigers in the Pros. Taylor Sharp with the honors today.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, we start Major League Baseball, a number of games last night. Alex Bregman with the Boston Red Sox, our own Matthew Musso's favorite Major League team. Bregman in that 3-hole, 1 for 4 last night. No strikeouts. Bregman on the season for the Red Sox this year, a .291 average. Staying in the major leagues, moving over Cincinnati Reds, Washington Nationals last night. The Nationals get the victory 6-1. Jake Fraley in that ball game, 0 for 2 on the night. The struggle at the plate for Fraley, .250 batting average on the year for the Cincinnati Reds right fielder. Our final one in the major leagues, Josh Smith DH'd and led things off for the Texas Rangers last night against the Athletics. The Rangers get a 6-2 victory, thanks in part to Josh Smith. He went 1 for 3. He scored a run and had an RBI, .276 batting average for the former Tiger third baseman. Finally, little WNBA action. The Chicago Sky versus the Minnesota Lynx. The Lynx win the game, but a pair of LSU Tigers, Angel Reese, another double-double, 11 points and 11 rebounds. And then a one-time Tiger, Haley Van Lith, 27 minutes off the bench. She had 7 points, 2 rebounds to go along with 4 assists and 3 steals. A little bit of everything for the former Tiger. That is Tigers in the pros.
What did Angel Reese shoot from the field?
4 for 8. 3 for 4 from the foul line.
Funny how that starts to work out after a year in the league, huh? Crazy.
It's almost like professional sports are hard, Moose.
It's almost like professional sports are hard, and it's almost like players are allowed to improve, Taylor. It's really just a crazy, thing to consider right there, isn't it? Crazy proposition. All right, we're going to grab our final break here. Top of the hour, Sports Center, national headlines. We'll come back. Brian Kelly spoke to the Baton Rouge Rotary Club. We'll let you hear what he said. Let me tell you, he made statements. That's next here on AFR.
After further review.
Always a pleasure to tell you about our friends at the Williamson Eye Center. Check them out online at williamsoneye.com. They've got locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. On the Baton Rouge General Campus, you turn off a Bluebonnet onto Picardy, you make that right. And then right there at the stop sign, the building on the right, the first 2 floors, that's the Williamson Eye Center. State-of-the-art dry eye center, and it's full service. Of course, they have their state-of-the-art surgery center there where you can have your LASIK or whatever surgical procedure you're having. But they have your standard annual eye exam as well at the Williamson Eye Center. Learn more at williamsoneye.com. The thing I tell you every day is take the advice that I was given and change your life. To give yourself the gift of sight is absolutely incredible. If you're someone like me who spent your life with contacts or glasses, there is a way to be done with it forever. williamsoneye.com. Go see Dr. Blake Williamson for that free consultation. 924-2020. 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com for the Williamson Eye Center.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Baton Rouge is home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Pearl Jam, and the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs: reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business, internet, phone, managed services. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Saints will sign free agent safety Julian Blackmon, who played last year for the Colts but was hampered by a torn labrum. Giants head coach Brian Daboll says today Russell Wilson is his starting quarterback. Wilson joined the team as a free agent. Which baseball GM is under the most pressure heading toward baseball's trade deadline? ESPN's Buster Olney says it's Brian Cashman of the Yankees.
Their farm system is in a better place than where it was last year. They're in a better position to make trades, and I think he will. If the Diamondbacks are going to wind up being the biggest seller, I think the Yankees will wind up being the most significant buyer.
Buster Olney on Clinton and Friends. Baseball today, the Mets beat the Angels 6-3. Pete Alonso with a 3-run homer. The Rockies beat the Cardinals 6-0. Tanner Gordon goes 6 scoreless, allowing 4 hits for the win. The Reds beat the Nationals 5-0, a complete game shutout for Nick Lodolo. He allowed only 4 hits and struck out 8.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Off and running, hour number 3 after further review. Welcome in. Musso in for Moscona. Taylor Sharp, Paul O'Neill along for the ride. We were presented on Wednesdays by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Glad to have you along for the ride. Maybe you're just hopping in the car, starting your commute home. We appreciate you making us a part of your day. And it's been a great show. We still have a lot to get to here in this final hour. A little bit of LSU baseball coming up that I did want to touch on. Brian Kelly met with the Rotary Club. Of course, ask us what we learned, all of those things. You can start lining up questions for that if you would like. Bayou Ford YouTube chat, or you can tweet me at Musso Mathieu. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started here. Push off from the dock, hour number 3. It is tradition that the LSU head football coach meets with the Baton Rouge Rotary Club the last week prior to training camp. Brian Kelly did that on Wednesday. And I will tell you, there is a lot of reasons to be excited about LSU football in 2025. From the transfer portal class they brought in to the high school recruiting class they brought in, the players they have coming back. Veteran starter and Nuss going into his second year. You look like you're just poised for a jump. There's a huge opener. But there's 2 reasons I want to get into here in this conversation that really don't factor into any of that. Number 1 is Brian Kelly's confidence that he is speaking with. And this goes back, y'all. This goes back to after the Oklahoma game at the end of the regular season in 2024, when he had the quote about taking receipts and we'll see you in the national championship. Like, that's where this started. And it has just continued throughout this offseason and now heading into fall camp. You've heard him say it's the best team he's had, and he has doubled down, tripled down on that take throughout the offseason. And today, when he met with the Rotary Club, it was all about championships with Brian Kelly. Really going back again, as we said, to the post-game press conference against Oklahoma. And it started with championship traits.
Attention to detail. Like having a great attitude. Making sure that they have some grit on a day-to-day basis. All of those things, those traits, what I call traits of excellence, they're transferable. They take them with them when they leave here at LSU. That, to me, is part of our process. And people talk about, well, what's your process? It is to build those traits in our players so they can deliver when their best is needed. You want attention to detail on 4th and goal. You want great habits when they're needed, when you're on the road and you're playing in Death Valley Junior, not the Death Valley.
That's the other great thing about the Rotary Club meeting. The coach is always just a little bit more lighthearted. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, why would you give bulletin board material and whatnot? Y'all, it was going to be loud regardless of what Brian Kelly said, and it's still going to be loud. He's playing to the crowd. That's what happens there. I love that. But there he is, talking about the traits and the confidence that his team has and that that's part of their process. And he would go on and talk about those traits and how they will lead to a national championship.
Standard is high at LSU. And that's why I love being here, because that standard has been set. So asking the question, when are we going to win a national championship, is not a question. It's just when we're going to win the national championship. Because we will. Because we have players, we have the standards, we have the support.
That's why I started here. Remember, it's not necessarily about everybody they brought in. I love the confidence that Brian Kelly is speaking with, because that rubs off on your team, man. That's how you get buy-in. Right there. Your coach talking about the championship traits, taking a little bit of a shot at the opponent. Him saying it's a matter of when, not if. When, not if. And because we have the players with the traits, that they're bought in. That, your team feeds off of that. Your team buys into that. They've put a heavy emphasis on this game. The paw prints, the 1-0 signs, all of that. But it's the confidence of Brian Kelly that leads into it. And you know what? I can hear what a lot of people are going to say too. Man, him talking like that, he better deliver. Yeah, there is an element to that. That's just putting more and more pressure on him. But would you rather have a coach that's that confident to make those statements that he knows are going to get out, he knows are going to be replayed from now until the game and even throughout the season? Or not? I would rather the confidence. And I think that's a huge part as to why you and I should and do feel good about LSU's chances this season. The other, yes, is Garrett Nussmeier, but it's not really because of the ability on the field. It's everything else that he brings. And Brian Kelly talked about that Wednesday at Rotary as well.
There's special players that you get in my career over 30-plus years of doing this. And, you know, Garrett Nussmeier is a pretty special guy. He's a quarterback, and quarterbacks are seen as these ego-driven guys. He's here for one reason, to win a national championship for LSU. And that's how he lives his life. Like, he's other-centered. He's thinking of others all the time. So when your quarterback and your leader is that kind of guy, you can go into the seat and feel, you know what? We're in pretty good hands tonight. Let's go play. Let's make sure we got a couple of breaks, go our way, you know, and call it a day.
again, it's not just the ability that Nussmeier has on the field. And we know what that ability is. Kid threw for 4,000 yards a year ago. And they've just surrounded him with even better weapons now. We know all of that. But it's the leadership. He's here for one reason. He's others-centric. That's where his focus is on others. And that plays back into a conversation we had earlier this week where LSU's team, Blake Baker talked about this on OTB earlier this week, LSU's team feels very together. And that's not always the case when you have this heavy of an influx from the transfer portal. That's a hard thing to get, the chemistry. You can build the culture all you want. You can recruit in the portal to that culture all you want. You never really know how it's going to play out until those guys are here and they're with their teammates and you see it for yourself with your own two eyes. And you've heard it from the coaches, you've heard it from the players about how together this team is and how they have just clicked. And a lot of that is because of the mindset of a guy like Garrett Nussmeier. Those kids in the portal are coming in here to a new place. They have their own goals. Like, sure, they want to win while they're at LSU, but they're also coming here for more exposure, things of that nature, to compete against the best in the SEC, things of that nature. But when you have a player, especially at the quarterback position, like a Garrett Nussmeier, who his focus outside of football is on his teammates and others and what he can do for them, first of all, hallmark of a coach's son, right? But that makes the chemistry building process, the continuity building process, the gelling of the team that much more easy to come by. Because you have a guy like that, and then you mix that with the confidence of the head coach. And again, Brian Kelly is talking like a guy who knows what he has. He's talking like a guy who knows what he has, and he's just waiting to be able to put it on display and show the rest of the country. It's those two things that really get me excited for this season for LSU and make me believe that LSU does have a deep run in them this year in the postseason before you even get to what's on the field. Confidence from your head coach and the leadership and the want to just do great by others that Brian Kelly just described in his quarterback and Garrett Nussmeier. The play on the field is great. Those two things, those are invaluable. We'll see what it leads to for LSU here in 2025. Season can't get here fast enough, man. Can't get here fast enough. Tigers will open up against Clemson August 30th up there in, what Brian Kelly call it? Death Valley Jr.? 6:30 p.m. kickoff. All right, we're going to grab a break. Come back on the other side. We'll shift to some LSU baseball. Baseball America. They got me thinking about the Tigers and the SEC, plus some more signings to go through for LSU as well in the draft. That's next here on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Yes, hormone replacement therapy. Yes, NAD+. Yes, BPC 157. Yes, ED treatment. The bottom line is, gentlemen, I don't care how old you are, it's about how old you feel, and do you want to feel like you did when you were younger? Do you want to live a more vital life? Do you want to live a more energetic life, where you wake up in the morning, your feet hit the floor, and you're rip-roaring ready to go, where you're motivated to get in the gym, where you have a great libido, where you have great mindset, energy, mental clarity, memory, all that sort of stuff? It's possible. It's affordable. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help you do it. Hormone replacement therapy could be a giant part of that for you. NAD Plus can literally help your cellular optimization to make you younger at a cellular level. BPC 157, tremendous in helping in recovery. Learn more. yourgoodwood.com.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
We're brought to you by Supper Club. You can book your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. One of the things about Supper Club that I love is if you want to go to Supper Club and be a baller, you can do it. You want to go to Supper Club and order a $5,000 bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, you can do it. You want to go have $400 shots of cognac, you can do it. You can have experiences at Supper Club that usually are reserved for Las Vegas and New York and Paris and Abu Dhabi. Like, that's here in Baton Rouge. But the thing you got to remember as well, if you want to go to Supper Club and have the best steak of your life and have a few appetizers, a dessert, bottle of wine, you can do it as affordably as any other restaurant in town. But the experience at Supper Club is unmatched. Introduced open seating at the bar, first come, first serve. So if you knock off of work, you want to head by Supper Club, you can walk in without a reservation, see if you can grab a bar stool or a table by the bar as well. Have a great dinner, maybe cocktail, close some business. Book your reservation, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com.
All right, welcome back in. After further review on a Wednesday, Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Musso in for Moscona. Going to talk a little bit of LSU baseball here. I get it. It's the offseason, and, I mean, we've done nothing but football so far in the show, and it's actually been fantastic. But there is a little bit of news surrounding the Tigers, and it's a decision that we've kind of been waiting on. And then also Baseball America really kind of got me thinking today, and I want to dive into one of their recent pieces here as well. LSU, we've been tracking signings, current roster, as well as high school, and you had 8 signees taken. It was largely assumed that 7 of them were no-brainers, so they were all taken in the top 10 rounds. The one that was interesting was River Hamilton. River Hamilton was taken in the 11th round by the Detroit Tigers, and it left a little bit of a question mark because, man, that's still pretty close to the 10 rounds. but it's outside. He's only guaranteed at least 150K as a max. You can always move money around and things of that nature. What would he do? River Hamilton was a guy who was committed to Oregon State. He flipped to LSU late in the process. He was not really able to be scouted much. He felt some elbow discomfort ahead of his first start of the high school season back in March, but he was able to get on the mound when the calendar turned to May and just at some showcases and whatnot, and the stuff was pretty good. It was going to be okay. Were scouts satisfied with that small sample enough to take a chance on him, or would that injury end up allowing him to make his way to campus for LSU? You see that often. You saw that in this draft. Marcos Paz. He missed his entire senior season, just got back on the mound in like June and July. It wasn't enough. He goes undrafted. He's coming to school, and that's a huge get for LSU. We now have our answer on River Hamilton. He has signed professionally with the Detroit Tigers. I'm not surprised by that. While the questions remained, my whole take on it, talked about it on Musso at the box after the draft, was if they being the Detroit Tigers were going to take that chance on him in the 11th round, they had a deal in place there. Detroit had taken 4 high school prospects and a college senior in the top 10 rounds. And for what it's worth, their top 2 prospects they drafted, their first and second pick, they saved $850,000 just on those 2 picks. They had money to throw around to entice a guy like River Hamilton, and they knew that when they made that pick. It's why they made that pick. He will not be at LSU. Not a big surprise given where he was taken. You could kind of see the writing on the wall. Jaden Foskey also, Fausk also signed his contract. He got almost $3 million. He was taken in the second round. That wasn't a surprise. He was enrolled in summer school, but you see that every year or two where guys get drafted in big money and they say, well, it's a hell of a school. And you know what? I don't blame them. I would have done the same thing, but nobody was ever offering me $3 million out of high school to do anything for that matter. I wish they would have, but they weren't. So Quentin Young as well also signed for LSU. That was expected as well. So you're seeing the expected dominoes fall. The one that really you had a question mark about maybe was River Hamilton, and he will start his professional career. Best of luck to him. LSU's killed it in the transfer portal. The roster will be just fine, which brings me to Baseball America's latest little masterpiece. We'll scroll to Twitter today, and man, if there's one thing I love, it's a way too early top 25, and Baseball America's got one. And it's very kind to LSU. I won't bury the lead. LSU checked in number 2 in the nation here for Baseball America's way too early top 25, and it makes a lot of sense. They did note this is subject to change once you kind of get eyes on players and the teams throughout fall and the preseason and things of that nature. But what they factored into this would have been potential breakouts, coaching impact, and unproven but high upside transfers. That screams LSU. Coaching impact. Jay Johnson's won 2 national championships in 3 years. It makes sense that they would be highly ranked in this. Upside with guys, transfers, all of that screams LSU. And they come in at number 2. And I think that's a very, very fair place for the Tigers. For what it's worth, if you're wondering, number 1 is UCLA. And UCLA deserves that spot. And I really think that UCLA, provided they stay healthy through the preseason, will be the preseason number 1 team. They return the most proven production in the country, including the projected number 1 overall selection in next summer's draft in Rock Chalowski. So, I mean, and oh, by the way, they went and added Will Gasparino, the center fielder from Texas, in the portal. They returned their starting rotation. Like, they are the most proven team returning in the nation. It makes sense. More on LSU at number 2, and then I want to get into the SEC a little bit. Because there are two teams that really, really catch my eye. The thing that got me so excited about Baseball America's write-up on LSU is they mentioned everything that LSU lost and everything that LSU brought in. They didn't even mention what LSU has returning. Like, you look at replacing, Kate Anderson and Anthony Ianson, obviously there. They mentioned bringing in Cooper Moore, the starter from Kansas. Santiago Garcia, a lefty from Oregon, with plenty of upside there. When you talk about the holes in the lineup, Zach York, the slugger from Grand Canyon, Trent Caraway, third baseman from Oregon State, Seth Dardar, utility infielder out of Kansas State and Louisiana native. All those things that we know. And that was enough in their write-up for them just to be like, with that and Jay Johnson, you expect a lot out of him because he's been nothing. Their quote, expect a lot out of LSU, which has been nothing short of phenomenal under Jay Johnson's leadership. It doesn't even factor into the fact that Stephen Milam's back, that Jake Brown is back, that Derek Curiel is back. On the mound, Kason Evans is back. Maverick Rizzi is back, who has been dominating the Cape Cod League, by the way. Like, dominate. He doesn't have a walk yet in his summer action. He's back. Gavin Guidry's going to be healthy again. Devin Sharon's going to be healthy again. Zach Cowan's back. LSU should be, if they stay healthy, they should be ranked no lower than number 2. I wouldn't expect the top 2 to change for Baseball America, and I think you see a similar order for the rest of the polls. Now, to the SEC. God, LSU's going to be so good next year. To the SEC. Taylor, I want you to guess. How many SEC teams do you think Baseball America has in their way too early top 25?
10.
Almost. 12. You guessed over half the lead, so we're going to give you partial credit for that. 12. LSU, Texas, Mississippi State, more on them momentarily, Auburn. All of those are in the top 5. Yes, Mississippi State's in the top 5. Georgia, Tennessee, they round out the top 10. Arkansas checks in at 11. You have Vanderbilt at 15. Alabama at 19. Florida at 21. Ole Miss at 24. And Texas A&M at 25. There are 2 teams in there that I am extremely intrigued by. And the first one is Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State is set up to have a phenomenal year. I love the hire of Brian O'Connor. I mean, he's a great coach. He's a national championship winning coach. And what he has been able to build and preserve at Mississippi State warrants the number 4 preseason ranking. Will they live up to that hype? I don't know. But I think Brian O'Connor is set up for a great first season at Mississippi State. Maybe I shouldn't say it warrants the 4th ranking here in Baseball America's way too early, but I can understand how they got to it. Just look at the transfer portal. He brings 3 with him from Virginia, who were major contributors. They go and add Tyler Pitzer, who's a high-level player out of the portal. Mississippi State is a top 5 portal class just in general. Oh, by the way, you got a reaffirmed commitment from Ace Reese, their leading hitter and home run guy, third baseman, all SEC player. And then Jack Bauer. Get used to hearing the name Jack Bauer. Jack Bauer was committed to Brian O'Connor at Virginia, flipped to Mississippi State, and they got him through the draft. And this is massive that they got him through the draft. Everyone thought that would not happen. Jack Bauer is a lefty that has been up to 103 miles per hour, and he is going to play baseball for Mississippi State in 2026. If you were looking for a little bit of a rebuilding year, that is not the expectation in Starkville, and it is easy to see why. You got your best player back from a year ago. Brian O'Connor brought in top-level transfers, a handful of them he's familiar with because he coached them last year. And you got the highest-ranked prospect that did not sign to campus, who will immediately factor in to State's bullpen or maybe even their rotation. Look out for Mississippi State. The other one, many might think I'm going Georgia. I'm not going Georgia. Wes Johnson killed it in the portal. Good for him. Until he proves that he can get out of his own stadium in the postseason, I don't buy it. So prove it, and then we'll have a conversation about Georgia. For me, it's Florida, solely because of the pitching. This feels like one of the old school Florida teams to me for Kevin O'Sullivan because it starts on the mound. Look, they'll have some opportunity there in the lineup, 100%. And the offense that Florida has really been able to play, that's really where that program's just made a bunch of strides. But if you're looking for a 1-2 punch to start with and feel really, really good about, look no further than Florida. Aiden King returns. He was phenomenal as a freshman in Florida's rotation. At times out pitching Liam Peterson. And then, oh, by the way, Liam Peterson is back. Now, it's going to have to come together for a guy like Liam Peterson because it's just left a lot to be desired, quite honestly. In 2 seasons, I mean, he's a standout freshman. You expect big things from him coming in. You got him through the draft his first year. And in 2 seasons, it's been underwhelming. It just has. But if and when it all comes together, you pair that with a guy like Aiden King who already exceeded expectations as a freshman, that's dangerous just from a 1-2 punch. Like, we could look up in April, and it would not surprise me if Florida has the best 1-2 punch in the SEC. Not saying they will, but it wouldn't surprise me. And then you look at a guy like Luke McNeely, who's been nails for them out of the bullpen, could easily slide into that number 3 spot. And you have other guys returning, and they've added plenty in the transfer portal as well on the mound. That's how Kevin O'Sullivan built that Florida program into what it is today, is through the pitching staff. And this feels like a team that could have a little bit of a throwback to it. Throwback to kind of early Kevin O'Sullivan teams at Florida. When they were, running out Brian Johnson and A.J. Puck and Alex Faedo and Brady Singer and Jackson Kowar and, Dane Dunning, who barely pitched at Florida and is a major league starter. Like, it feels like that's the type of staff they are potentially building over there in Gainesville for this year. And it starts with their 1-2 punch. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be a great year in the SEC again. And LSU is going to be really, really good. I know a lot of the focus has shifted to football, and I get it, and it should. Don't forget about the LSU baseball Tigers. It'll be here before you know it, opening day for the defending national champions. All right, we're going to grab a break. Come back on the other side. We'll continue with more AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Stay here.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, 2 beautiful hotel properties in Baton Rouge, the Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown right there on Bluebonnet. And when it comes to hosting your event, both the Watermark and the Renaissance are perfect. The Watermark is a gorgeous, elegant spot in downtown Baton Rouge. That wedding reception, that smaller gathering, that meeting space, they can do it. They've kept so much of the history and tradition of that iconic building while modernizing it. The Gregory is a great restaurant inside of the Watermark as well. And then, of course, the Renaissance Hotel, Southtown, right there on Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge. It's more modern. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous hotel property at the Renaissance Hotel where they have meeting space that can accommodate up to 500 people, 7,000 square foot of meeting space, perfectly located right off of Bluebonnet and I-10. It's the Watermark and the Renaissance Hotels in Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs: reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business, internet, phone, managed services. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
It is my pleasure this week to welcome our new partner on to After Further Review, Our Lady of the Lake. Of course, great partnership as well as the official championship health partner of LSU. When you think who takes care of the LSU athletes, well, it's Our Lady of the Lake and the physicians there. Game-changing care, keeps athletes at their best, builds stronger, healthier Louisiana for all of us at every level. I've told you about my experience throughout my life living in Baton Rouge at Our Lady of the Lake, from volunteering at the Ronald McDonald Playroom to helping raise funds through so many different fundraising efforts for the standalone Children's Hospital to taking my son to see specialists there at Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital, to my own personal health. My GP is Dr. Kurt Chastain with Our Lady of the Lake Men's Health. It's good enough for the LSU athletes. It's good enough for me and you, of course. It's Our Lady of the Lake. You can learn more at ololrmc.com/LSU.
All right, back here after further review on a Wednesday, Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Go ahead and get started getting questions in. Ask us. We'll do some what we learned. Ask us to wrap up the show here. Bayou Ford YouTube chat or tweet me at Musso Mathieu. Wanted to touch on one more thing from Saints training camp briefly, and that's tight end. Also lost in the shuffle on Tuesday with Tyron Mathieu retiring and Jimmy Graham retiring was a third retirement, and that came from Dallin Holker. You'll remember Dallin Holker, obviously undrafted rookie for the Saints in 2024. They committed $235,000 to him. I mean, it was a guy they thought about drafting, but felt good about being able to get him as a UDFA. $235K for Dallin Holker, basically guaranteeing him a spot on the practice squad at that point, but you expected him to make the 53-man. Ultimately, he did. He played sparingly for New Orleans in 2024, did Holker, and then announces retirement on Tuesday. It's confusing. Played in 12 games a year ago, caught 3 passes for 21 yards. The money situation, a blip in the radar, honestly, really, for Holker. It's just more confusing that he decided to hang it up. And look, guys make decisions for a lot of reasons. For what it's worth, Holker was dealing with an ankle injury pretty much all throughout spring and whatnot. He was really limiting his ability to practice, so he wasn't really factoring in much. Obviously, he's well behind on the depth chart, and maybe he just wanted to move on to other things. So he retires. Where does that leave the New Orleans Saints at tight end? Because y'all, as much as we talk about the quarterbacks, as much as we talked about the defense earlier under Brandon Staley in the first training camp, tight end is a very polarizing position for the New Orleans Saints. Kellen Moore was asked about this. It was actually one of the last questions he was asked in his media availability on Wednesday about how he felt about the tight end room and the depth and what he's seen so far.
I just say, like any position, we're always trying to acquire players and acquire talent, and so we'll see how it goes. If something pops up, we're more than willing to do it. But I think that group's worked their tail off. There are some younger guys in there that are continuing to grow, and so you see those leaps come in through training camp, and so we'll see how it goes.
The beginning of that cut is obviously very telling. And I should have better set it up. The question also asked, is he satisfied with what he has in the tight end room? Always looking to add if we see an opportunity. The Saints are left with 8 tight ends on the team right now. 8. After Holker, they had 9. Holker retires 8. And Kellen Moore not closing the door on potentially adding more. For what it's worth, obviously, when you look at the depth and the depth chart, Taysom Hill, Foster Moreau, both on PUP. You probably won't see them throughout training camp, and they probably won't be ready for the start of the regular season. You're still a long ways off getting Hill and Moreau back. So when you look at how reps were distributed on day one, obviously Juwan Johnson, first team, you fully expect that, and he should be. You also saw, you also saw Trayton Welsh, Trayton Welsh ran second team. I had it, and now I lost it. Apologies. Jack Stoll, Trayton Welsh were running second team. Juwan Johnson, your first team. If I can find the other guy, I will bring that back. Okay, so that's where you were looking. Sorry. Juwan Johnson running first team, as you expect. Welch, Stoll running with your second. That's not really a place you want to be if you're the New Orleans Saints, to put it mildly. Man, you look at a guy like Trayton Welsh. He is a player that has just 1 year of experience. He's only been offseason or practice squad, 1 year of time in the NFL, 2024 with the Browns, and then was picked up by the Saints midseason a year ago as well. Very young player. Jack Stoll, he's 27 years old, also very young, but he's at least got a little bit more service time in the NFL. He's just bounced around plenty, but he has played in 61 games. His best season was 2022 with the Eagles, where he played in 17 games. He caught 123 yards worth of passes on 11 catches. He has not found the end zone. Those are the two guys you have running second team right now in camp. That's where Dallin Holker retiring does potentially matter for the New Orleans Saints. Because that's a guy that you thought highly enough that you invested $235,000 in as an undrafted free agent a year ago. He plays 1 year. He's dealing with the injury. You haven't really been able to see him, and now he is retired. I am all for the Saints. If they can find another tight end that they want to bring in, go ahead and do it. And look, I understand it might not be a deep pool for tight ends in the NFL right now. But that is a position that I look at and I go, you know what? Nah, I don't feel great. And that's where you go back to Noah Fant. And you absolutely, right now, have to make an effort for that to happen if you're the New Orleans Saints. Because Noah Fant could not only come in and solve the bulk of your problems, he could really come in and be your starting tight end. And that could allow you to use Juwan Johnson in so many different other ways in your offense. Because outside of that, it isn't a great tight end free agents that are left. I mean, you look at a guy like C.J. Uzomah, Mercedes Lewis, but he's 40. It's just a lot of aging veterans that would be left there. Noah Fant, it drives home the need even more when you look at them in training camp today and you see Trayton Welch and Jack Stoll running as your second team tight ends. They need to go make it happen. All right. We're going to grab a break, come back on the other side. Stay here. We'll close out Wednesday edition of AFR next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics. ActionIndinc.com. That's where you find them online. You can find them on LinkedIn as well. And one of the things that I tell you often about Action Industries that I really respect the most is Action Industries, they know who they are as a business. They've been around since 1982. So in 42 years, they've really developed a reputation among the petrochemical and refinery markets. And so when it comes to those contractors, these industrial and commercial contractors, like their safety record is exemplary. The work that they do is exceptional, which is why they thrive on repeat business. Well, you don't keep getting hired for 42 years if you're not doing great work. That's Action Industries. But also they know who they are. There's some giant companies that do these mega projects, and they're not going to bid on a $200 million project. But if you have a 100-man job, that's their sweet spot. They're perfect for that. You need to get to know Action Industries. ActionIndinc.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
As we get on down the road, remind you about South Point Volkswagen, airline just north of Highland, and southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. You know, one of the things that's really worth stressing when I tell you all the time about why I love driving a Volkswagen. Remember, at South Point Volkswagen, their vehicles are manufactured right here in the US of A. So you get the great German engineering, safety features, performance, all of it, without the cost and the benefit of supporting American jobs. But even more importantly right now, as people talk about tariffs and rising costs and all that stuff, these vehicles are manufactured in the US of A, so you don't even have to worry about the tariffs and all that conversation. So another benefit of shopping at South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, and they're awesome people as well. Volkswagen, so much it's a culture, it's a vibe, it's fun to drive, and they're fun to deal with as well. Airline just north of Highland, South Point Volkswagen.
Closing up here on AFR on a Wednesday, we get some Ask Us questions. Got a few of those coming in, and also we have to run down the Cleveland Browns here before we get out of here as well. But let's start with some Ask Us questions for Taylor, for Paul, for me. It can be anything by for YouTube channel, and you can tweet me at Musso Mathieu. Here we go. Sorry. Easy E says, ask us if you could go back to relive any one grade of school, what would it be K through 12? Ugh.
Senior year was great, at least for me. Like that's where I'm going back to. It's senior year.
Yeah. I just did not like school at all. But loved the good times with school. So I mean, I guess I'd have to really consider that. I mean, yeah, it would probably be high school. I don't know if I have really one. Junior year was really good in high school, so I guess I'd select junior year there. Paul?
That's a tough one.
It is a tough
Paul's
one.
about to say kindergarten, watch.
Because school stinks.
I'm about to say, like, maybe, like, childhood. Childhood. Like, yeah, kindergarten.
Those afternoon naps did.
I was about to say, I almost said, I almost said kindergarten because of the naps. Like, afternoon naps, they slap. They're incredible. So, Paul, are you going kindergarten? Is that your final answer?
Yeah, let's go kindergarten.
Okay, Paul's going kindergarten.
I don't really have to worry about much. It's just, learning my ABCs and 1, 2, 3s.
There you go. Ask us, this is a hard one. Favorite LSU game you attended?
Oh, this is easy. 2007 LSU, Florida.
Yep. If you were there for that game, that is easy. I was not there for that game. I was on campus that day, and it was awesome.
2007 LSU Auburn was there for that one, too. That was another good one. But Florida just had a different feel to it.
Yeah, okay. So, for you, that was easy. Paul?
Yeah, I think that's mine as well.
You were there as well. Okay, that's easy. I wasn't there for that. I really have to think about that because I'd also factor in like baseball and stuff like that as well, and maybe even basketball, although there haven't been great ones to attend with that. But I mean, if we're talking just football, one that always stands out to me and it flies under the radar is the 2012 South Carolina game.
That was actually one of the first ones I thought of.
That game was awesome. Tiger Stadium was electric that night. It was Jeremy Hill's like burst onto the scene, his breakout, his coming out party. Zach Mettenberger played really well that night, really kind of for the first time as
South
the
Carolina
LSU quarterback.
Had stars too, like they had Clowney, they had Marcus Lattimore.
Stephon Gilmore was on that team as well, I think.
Connor Shaw was their quarterback.
Connor Shaw was the quarterback.
Good team.
Was Alshon Jeffrey still there?
Yeah,
he was his
junior.
Last year. He was a junior. Like, it was a really good South Carolina team. Saturday night, like, that was an awesome game. Freshman year at LSU for me. So, like, freshman year of college, I should say, for me. So, I mean, that was that one always flies under the radar. And anytime people ask, like, best game you attended in Tiger Stadium, I always mention that game. It was it was awesome. All right, have y'all seen what the Cleveland Browns unveiled today? The NFL is unveiling a bunch of new uniforms. We talked about the Saints yesterday. I think the Cleveland Browns unveiled what might be the worst uniform in the NFL for this season. It is all brown, and I mean all brown, including the helmet. And the helmet is such a dark brown that it almost looks black. It is atrocious. Like, the Saints are not in a good spot right now. But, man, at least you aren't the Cleveland Browns for a number of reasons, and these uniforms are one of them. These suck. Like, just plain and simple, these are atrocious.
It kind of fits for the Browns, though. Like, for anybody else, it would suck. For the Browns, my thought is, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
I mean, Easy in the chat saying that the brown helmet isn't that bad. Yes, it is.
No, the whole thing's bad.
Like, it's worse if they put it on an all-brown uniform, but the solid brown helmet is horrible. And also, the Browns helmet in general sucks because it's plain. It's just a helmet with stripes on it. It's the worst. The Cleveland Browns are the worst. I don't really know why we expect anything other, but that might be the worst uniform in the NFL. For my money, it is. And again, shout out to Buffalo Bills for bringing back the red helmet, and they have the best uniforms in the NFL, or at least my favorite uniforms in the NFL. The New Orleans Saints wear gold jerseys, so okay, whatever. All right. Easy said, ask us worst NFL uniform. The Browns, the all brown for the Cleveland Browns. Those are horrible. And then also the Packers. I think the Packers uniforms are terrible. I know everyone loves them and they're iconic. I think the Packers uniforms suck. Their colors are awful. All right, that's going to wrap it up here for AFR on a Wednesday. Appreciate everybody. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Paul. Thank you to Shea Dixon. Thank you to Matthew Paris. Great show, man. A lot of football, wall to wall. We got more of that coming for you. Day 2 for the Saints tomorrow on the practice field. And there was some LSU stuff that I wasn't even able to get to or really dive into. LSU swing game potentially in the season, and Big Ten Media Days wrap up. That's all in tomorrow's AFR. Stick around for that.
AFR.
Quick reminder about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They're the best. If you are, gentlemen, thinking about popping the question and you're thinking about where am I going to go buy that diamond, I want you to consider this. There are places that will sell you man-made lab diamonds, but what are you buying? It's according to its makeup and characteristics, sure, diamond. But is it going to hold its value? Like, is that the way you want to say, I love you, I want to spend the rest of my life with you? Go to Lee Michaels. Go to Lee Michaels. Walk in the door. Experience the thing I talk about all the time, which is the Lee Michaels experience. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry with 10 locations. Baton Rouge, 2 locations in Baton Rouge. New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, Mississippi, Texas as well. 10 locations across 3 states. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Thrill her, gentlemen. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
You gotta believe in the dream. Believe. You gotta believe in the dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wildin'.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.